This is a download from the BBC. To find out more and our terms of use, go to bbcworldservice.com/podcasts.
This is James Menendez with NewsHour, recorded on Tuesday the 22nd of September at 20 GMT. The scandal engulfing Volkswagen shows no signs of abating, at least for now. The German carmaker says that 11 million of its cars were fitted with the software that masked the real level of emissions from their diesel engines during testing. The firm's lost more than a third of its value on the stock markets in just 2 days. Feeling the heat, Chief Executive Martin Winterkorn, who today put out this apology.
Ich entschuldige mich in aller Form.
I'm infinitely sorry that we've disappointed people's trust. I offer my deepest apologies to our customers, the authorities, and to the public at large for our misconduct. Please believe me, we'll do everything to put right the damage, and we'll do everything to win back your trust, step by step.
But can they? Can a company ever come back from a scandal of this magnitude? One man who specialises in just that sort of crisis management is Simon Mainwaring, CEO of We First, strategic consultants in Los Angeles.
The first thing you must do is assume responsibility. And that means you stop the problem in terms of the software installation and you execute the vehicle recall as quickly as possible. Secondly, you work with those authorities like the EPA and legal authorities to really assume responsibility in a public way so that you can move past this as quickly as possible. And that may involve potential fines and potential legal ramifications. They're going to need to look at how to financially restructure. This is going to be a huge hit to the company. You've got to shore up investor confidence. You've got to shore up employee confidence. So much of the institutional capital or value of the company is in its people. And then thirdly, you'd have to roll out a new alternative energy vision. They are being perceived as self-serving or disingenuous right now. And to move beyond that, you need to embrace a collaborative, transparent vision and over time allow people to trust the brand again.
In terms of the initial response, how do you think they've fared? We've had two very senior executives, including the chief executive. He said today he was endlessly sorry. The head of the US business had said already that they totally screwed up. I mean, this is real mea culpa stuff, isn't it? There's no attempt to try and say they haven't done anything wrong.
Absolutely. I think it's the right approach, and unfortunately it's the only approach in the sense that these actions have taken place and the fastest through line to recovery in the service of all of their employees and the brand and ultimately their customers is just to get on with the business of remaking the brand.
How would you have described the Volkswagen brand before this all broke a week ago?
It was really perceived as a very likable, accessible, populist brand that was very much about a lifestyle for people who were young, optimistic, and really wanted to have fun with life. This revelation makes it doubly difficult to restore the brand's reputation.
Would you have added trustworthy to that list?
The brand was almost built as being a counterpoint to a lot of other automakers out there, you know, with their original campaigns back in the 60s and so on, how we're the sort of the ugly one. And so I think trustworthy in the sense that, yes, we were just like you. We are as human as you are.
And now, what is it?
I think until the full assumption of responsibility has played out, it's very hard for anyone to look at the VW brand the same way. In the short term, it's a huge opportunity for other automakers to step into that vacuum, and it's a huge mandate for VW to come to the marketplace with a new vision built on a commitment to transparency.
And that new vision, does that require new senior management, do you think, in these sort of situations?
As a consumer, as a buyer, as a driver of a VW car, you're going to want to see some assumption of responsibility because this is a widespread breach and it's a difficult one to overcome.
Can big companies, in general terms, can they come back from scandals like this? Is it possible to rebuild, or will they forever be tainted with something like this?
The fastest way for VW to recover is to assume responsibility, articulate a new vision internally, most importantly first with its employees and investors and its whole supply chain, and then externally to its consumers. They also need to embrace a new mindset. That mindset really turns on three facts. One is What you make is who you are. It's no longer a case that what you say about yourself in marketing is who you are. Secondly, no brand is perfect, and to mitigate risk, you've got to get out in front of your shortcomings. And that way you control the narrative, even though you've got work to do, rather than wait for there to be a large PR crisis. And thirdly, I think something that VW can really embrace is this idea of being a mission with a company rather than a company with a mission. And you see that with brands like Tesla that opened up the intellectual property to their battery technology because that ultimately served the mission of the brand, and that allowed them to create marketing that really cut through the category.
And that was Simon Mainwaring. He's chief executive of the strategic consultants We First, speaking to me from Los Angeles. If you're just catching up with this whole Volkswagen story, there is a very good explainer of what Volkswagen has done and what might happen to it in the future on our website. It's bbc.com/news.